should I be trading real estate like it's a stock, or should I be investing for long-term value? This is one of the things that's been on my mind a lot when I've been on Lofty lately. Um, I think all of you saw, if you've been following my videos, that the money I put in ground floor, I think that's a midterm decent return on investment where you're kind of doing a set it and forget it strategy. I thought that's been my general strategy in real estate overall. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Joe Cachapalia. Been a real estate investor for almost 20 years. Been an agent for most of that time as well, helping primarily other investors find properties, both buying and selling. A lot, most recently in San Antonio, Texas, where that's my day job. But lately, I've been talking a lot about buying and selling pieces of real estate online. Investing in basically fractions of properties. I've talked a lot about Lofty, a little bit about Ground Floor, where it's a debt platform for a similar thing. Although so far that one's been my favorite. There's a link below if you want to get some free money on that site. Same for Lofty as well. There's definitely terms and conditions. So you want to look into that. But I got free money on both, and I think that it's kind of nice to be able to do that. But in any case, um, I also I've got a pending transaction with Landa that's just taking forever. That's a big complaint I have with them so far. I've been trying to give them my money for I think 3 weeks now. I don't know, and they just don't want it. Maybe it hasn't been that long, and it just seems like it to me. Maybe it's been two. Checked out arrived homes, didn't love them, so I'm not putting anything on there. But one of the things that has struck me as a lot different. When I got into this, I thought, oh, I'm just going to be buying properties. I'm going to be collecting rent, So, like, for example, I bought a little piece of this one. I've got 20 tokens out of a total of 18,554. And so that represents this tiny fraction of ownership, of 0.11% of that property. It's got a good rental yield. I've been getting, my current rent balance is 54 cents, on $1,000 investment. I've made $9.92 in total rent since I bought this. I don't know. Not even sure how long back that I purchased this one. Does it show you if you open that up? Asset ID. Hopefully that's not giving anything away. I don't think that it is. That's just the ID for this thing. So I always get worried about that if I'm going to show you guys something and you're going to be able to access my account because I'm a crazy person and I'm paranoid. But in any case, looking at these, I thought this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to be putting money in here, collecting rent over the very long term, maybe start selling some assets. But the way the site is set up, where it's a very thin market and prices move quite a bit, there's really the temptation here to get into a situation where I'm trading these more like stocks versus a long-term hold. And so this is an example. I bought into this one for $56.63 per token earlier this week, and the market price is already $61.02. Now I am also collecting rent on this, but you can see, net of fees, I'd probably break even if I sold at this market price. But if it moves up, because I paid their market order fees on this one, which is makes the transaction sort of expensive, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Um, but it is, and if I sold, I'd end up doing the same thing. But I have started putting some orders out, where, for example, on this one, I have an open sell order for 20 tokens at $65. So if this hits $65 in the next 27 days or however many days are left, it'll just somebody buys them. So like when you look in the order book, right now I've got the cheapest offer. Now there's no asks anywhere near there, and the last trade was here. And so this one's not going to show it because once you have the limit order, like if I tried to sell this, it says I don't own any, and I think it's because I already have a sell order for all of them that I own. Here's another one that I have a very small gain on. I think this one, though, I haven't, because it's a little gain, I tried to do a limit order for any sort of sale. it is, again, it's just one that's collecting rent. But so like if I wanted to sell this, to do so, just open it up. So let's say, and so this will give you an example. So right now, and it always credits out my rent, I think, right? Oh no, no, it's not doing it on this page. But so if I do a market order, our market order is $52.41 basically. Um, and fees would be 288. But if I sold this same thing with a limit order, um, the fees are down to 150. And now this number went down because I changed this, but limit order, I get to pick what this is. So you can see like the fees are almost twice as much if when you're buying or selling with these market orders. And it's because the market orders are only possible because there's these liquidity pools where other owners of tokens and are doing what they call staking them. And so basically they're lending their tokens to this pool. If somebody tries to buy or sell, that it happens in that pool, and so then that's how they make money is through that stake. Um, that's a very dumbed down explanation of how that works, but it makes it so buying and selling with market orders is much more expensive than buying and selling with limit orders. I think over time, um, as these platforms get bigger, that'll be less of an issue. But I'm actually not sure, you know, how much they're planning to continue with those stakings. But so those liquidity pools, the way that they do them. But so in general, it makes it so because of that, the buy and sell cost, you actually have to get a pretty big move for it to be worth buying and selling. And you'd also, if you were going to spend a lot of time trying to do this, you'd be wanting to buy more than 10 or 20 tokens at a time, probably. I mean, if you pick up deals like this and it didn't take me a lot of time, and a week later I can sell it and make $100 profit on a $1,100 order, like that, that's pretty good, especially if you enjoy this sort of thing like I do. But then you can also see like, well, I bought some and like this one's gone down. The market price is $6 has gone down $6 since I bought it. Um, let's Sorry about that. It looks like I froze again real quick. But so I was just saying, that market price has gone down. I wanted to look at, are there new notes on this, right? Like, do we have an update? Why is that happening? Um, not really a new note there. I think I bought it after that was already in there. Going and looking at the order book, it looks like there's somebody that's selling a whole bunch at that 42 price, but then isn't anybody else. So this might be one where there's an opportunity for me to come back, do a little bit more due diligence, make sure there hasn't been some big change. And then if I still like this one, basically dollar cost averaging, right? Like buying more at this lower price over time. Every time it goes low, I can pick up, build a better position in this where that's not an opportunity that you ever have with a real with real estate. Whatever you buy it for, that's your basis, right? Like it's very difficult to lower it, and so that's one of the benefits, where you get sort of these stock like features that give you an ability to maybe do something with this that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I'm definitely going to look into that and see if there's an opportunity there. Um, but and I don't want you to think I only made gains, right? Like, so that's one that's a big loss on paper. Um, but I'm still getting paid rent here. It's still a good rental return, and so I'll probably just keep holding that. So you have a good downside protection, I guess. And if the research I did up front is accurate, if the token performs poorly, we can eventually just sell this property, propose a vote, sell the property, and hopefully the liquidation value still provides us a profit. Um, there's another one, the price has moved a little bit. This is one that I bought because I thought it was a good discount. It hasn't moved enough for me to want to pick up more, but you can see some of these move quite a bit. This is another one that was part of that, just buying discounted one strategy. I still think the liquidation value is going to be more than my cost basis. But some of these I might be wrong on. I might end up being hurt. Um, but because I get to make that bet on a whole bunch of properties, I think on average I'll be doing well. This is one that there's been a proposal to sell it, working through the process, and this is all public. Like that we had this vote, who we're going to use for an agent, what prices they did. I think at any of them, I'm not going to get hurt at my $35 purchase price, but and some of them I'll actually, depending on what it actually sells for, I might make a decent profit. But there's a lot of attention on this one. There's people looking at those prices, and so I'm the second cheapest sell order right now. I put all my tokens up to sell for $40. I think that that's a relatively quick profit for me. If somebody buys it, I'll just go and try to find the next deal and reinvest it. And so it is a very it's an odd situation, right? Like maybe this sells and I'm wrong about the value and I lose money. Like that's perfectly possible, and it's why, encourage you to do your own due diligence. But I feel pretty good about the value. I think if the sale does go through, I'm going to be okay. I think there's the chance that I may make out pretty well. And if not, I think there's also a chance that somebody just buys these from me expecting that higher sale price, and I get out in the interim. Excuse me. Once it's actually, once it's actually listed, and if we start getting some offers, and if those are higher price, that'll be something I'll have to go back and maintain these orders and make sure I'm not leaving them open when there's, when I shouldn't be selling them. Like for example, this one. Well, I think if I get $65 on this one, I'm going to be really happy no matter what. I mean, it's been performing. There isn't really any new info. Um, I don't. I love owning it at $56 per token, but at 65, I'd rather get that money back and then wait for the next time that it goes down, or buy a little more of something else. Now, obviously, because of how thin these markets are right now, if I had stuck $100,000 on here at first, I wouldn't, there's not the opportunity to trade the bigger chunks as often. I think I think I mentioned at the outset that this is a platform I'm trying to encourage, people to use that are not, they're not quite ready to buy their first property, or they're not in a situation where they can house hack. They're not in a situation where they can, I still don't think this is necessarily a better option than buying real estate, on your own in the world. There's some reasons why it's good and some reasons why I don't think so. But where this market is really in its infancy, I wouldn't be putting a ton of money on it on here anyway. I'm just doing a little bit, trying to learn. I think as this platform grows, that's going to change, and there'll be more and more opportunities. But there'll also be more competition and more people out there that are doing what I'm doing and just trying to, like, pick off these small, basically edges where we can have a discount to the current value and still get some rent, or we think we're going to get a nice profit on a liquidation or something like that. Um, in any case, that's all I just wanted to share. I think that there is definitely a temptation to start treating this a little bit more like stocks. If that's what you end up doing, just keep that in mind relative to like what your goals were and what your risk profile is. I think I think it's both good and bad. I think there's opportunities created by it. But there's definitely a lot of potential to mess up, lose some money if you don't understand what you're doing. I've made some mistakes already, and I think I've shared those. But until next time, I'm going to keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.